My name is Ben Rish, aka Benny Badman. This is my Yamaha AW4416, and I'm presenting a tutorial which shows how to use a software program I've developed called AWMiner Gold to interface with a device running Mac operating system. In order to use AWMiner, you need to take the drive from your Yamaha. This is very easily done. Shut down, and then on the back there's a couple of knobs here with on hard drive tray, and you just undo those, pull the drive out. Now I'm using compact flash card instead of hard drive. You can look that mod up on the web if you're interested, and just come out halfway and pull the card out like that, and then I insert that over a little CF card reader here, just a low cost item, put it in there, and that's now ready to read using either my PC or Mac device. If you've got a hard drive, it's still pretty simple. Only in that case you'd bring the tray out fully and unscrew the drive and remove it from the tray. When you buy AWMiner Gold, you'll receive an email from me with a link to your software. Click open. Software's on Google Drive. You don't need to have an account, but your browser needs to send the same email address that you contacted me, or otherwise there may be a delay getting your software. Make sure you read the software user agreement, which includes some important notes, including download and installation notes. Select the software package for your system. So we're doing a Mac, so right click it and go download. Okay, it's downloaded. Now click on that folder to open the folder. Now notice I'm downloading this to my PC, or I could do it to a non-Apple device. Reason being that if I download this direct to an Apple device at the moment, because I'm not a signed developer or an identified developer, it'll get quarantined. So basically we need to bring it down to another device and then unzip it and then transfer it to the Mac system, either using a flash drive or a network share or something. I'm hoping to fix this up before too long, but unfortunately it's the only way I know to do it at the moment. So right click the downloaded file, go extract all. Yep. And that's it there. Now I either copy the extracted file to your flash drive, or we can copy it. I have a shared drive with my Mac, so I'm going to put it there instead. Mac transfer, cool. I'm just going to paste it there. And then from here on, I'll show you what happens on the Mac side. There it is. We saw earlier on that this was the file unzipped to my PC. I'm going to make a copy of it, and then I'm going to go to, now you could install that in applications, but I wouldn't recommend that because it's going to generate a lot of data underneath it, like the image backups and wave rips and so on. So I recommend you put this under your user drive, create a new folder here, and we'll call it AWMiner, and then paste the item there under that new area. Okay, now if we go into that, now there's the app there. Now I could just double click that, and if I do that it should run. Okay, so it is running, but one thing, if I try to load it's going to tell me that I don't have enough privileges, so I'm going to have to run AWMiner as administrator. Okay. Okay, so going to shut this down, and what we're going to do is right click on AWMiner Gold, show package contents like that. We go along to here, MacOS, and then that's the actual exe file there. All right, and what we're going to do, just click back on the macOS folder and say create a new terminal. You can either tab or new terminal. We're going to type the word sudo, and then basically going to drag the exe file down to that window like that, and then we're going to press enter, and it's requesting a password. Now, I should have mentioned I must be have an administrative account on this computer in order for it to work. And now I'm going to type in my password, and you won't actually see anything when you're typing it in. And then hit return, and now the program has opened. See that? So leave this terminal window open there, and now if I hit load, or it's telling me now it's happy that I'm the administrator, but it didn't find any media, so that's because I haven't plugged in yet. So macOS will put up this message, just tell it to ignore, and the reason you're getting this is because Mac doesn't know how to read. In fact, no computer in the world other than Yamaha AW4416 and AWMiner program know how to read an AW formatted hard drive, so just go ignore. This time we're going to load AW, and as you can see there's a nice list of 27 songs I did with some friends during lockdown, and basically we can now go through and look at all of the tracks in those songs like that. Look at that was we heard a bit of at the beginning of this video. Got all the songs selected, and we can rip the tracks into a DAW. Now just before I do that, I'm going to show you up here in settings, there's a setting there called Audacity, and which you can turn on, and basically it'll I've just turned it off, but you can toggle it using hotkeys option A. So if basically what will happen as soon as those tracks are ripped, it'll open up a session of Audacity with all those tracks in it. I'm going to just show you one more setting here. Again, it's got hotkeys, but we can actually change the bit depth of the output, so it could be either 16, 24, or 32. And you can change the shift 1, 2, 3 like that. So I'm just going to change it back to 24, which is what I was recorded at. And then I'm going to hit rip tracks, and you can monitor what's going on down here in the log screen. Take a note, it's taking a couple of seconds per track, but I'm going to just remember that for later on. Now it's finished, so we go OK, and it opens up the folder for, and notice also Audacity is open just while Audacity's settling down. So it's created a log file, so that basically replicated what was in the log view. Also this thing called Audacity.lof. Now if I didn't have Audacity turned on, I could have I have associated this with Audacity, so I could have just double clicked and it would have opened up those files anyway. Just while we're in this view, we're going to have a look back and see the path that was created. So remember we had AWMiner installation folder, that was a version of AWMiner, and then Wave folder, that was the name of the CF, it's just called Removable Device. That was the name of the song Invitation, and 24-bit, and so like that. So we can shut that down, and basically we come in here and Shift Command If shows you all the tracks, and just go somewhere in there. And now when you've done that, happy with it, like you could do things here, like could edit tracks and then load them back into the song, and or we could add extra tracks. You can do whatever you wanted to do with it. If you're using Audacity just for reviewing stuff like this, remember to close it down. Otherwise, you'll have trouble with the next session. Like if you're trying to jam two sessions together, but just won't work. So Command Q, and don't want to save it at the moment. All right. Now probably that basically we could go ahead and rip all those songs pretty quickly. Now just going back to this view, you can see when we load it, or very important thing is to create a backup of the drive, particularly if you've done a significant session or batch of new songs. We want to back up the drive, so I'm going to show that right now. Backup drive, and then it's going to take 10 to 15 minutes, so while that's going on I'm going to pause the recording. But so we just go yes, and as you can see it started backing up, and you get a ticker showing, so I'll come back when it's kind of close to 100%. Okay, so it's getting pretty close to finishing now. So basically it took about 1 minute per gigabyte of data. So we'll get a, it'll tell us how long it took in a minute when it's finished. Okay, 13 minutes. So yep, fair enough. Go OK to that. So AWMiner opens Finder for us. So see under there was our program, and it's created this new folder called IMG, and that's the name of the backup. And it would be a good idea at this stage to probably rename it. Just while you can remember what it is, we'll call. Sorry, I'm not much of a Mac operator, but we'll call it BCG lockdown session, lockdown complete. Okay, notice I've got to, because I've got to put my password in because that's owned by administrator. Alright, notice the .imgc, which stands for image file compressed, and again, like, remember this is where the wave, so we're going to shut that down. Now I'm going to reopen that image we just made, but before we do that, I'm just going to go back to invitation there, and I'm going to back up the song and just show you. So this is the song as I was not creating the whole drive, but just making a backup of just that one song, and it's going to be the backup's going to be a .cfs file. So it's very similar to the song backups that would have been made on your Yamaha machine if you had a working SCSI CD burner, which, as you're probably aware, there's not many compatible ones that are still working these days. They just all seem to have given up the ghost after 20 years or whatever. The laser's gone weak. Now this CFS file, probably you couldn't reload it with the CD device, but certainly can reload it back into AWMiner, as you can load any CFS file made using a CD burner. So go OK, and this is going to pop open, and notice it's created a new folder there called CFS, and it's the song and it's a CFS, and I'm going to show you how to open that in a minute too. Okie doke. So the next thing, just going to go back menu, and the next button down here is load image. So I'm going to go there, and it's going to put me at the image folder, and this is the image we just completed there, and so see it's a direct replica of the CFS that we had there. And I'm just going to show you one thing. Just if I just rip the tracks from this image, remember it took about 2 seconds per track going from the CF card or from the hard drive. Now it's taking really like very little time indeed. And notice because the source of this was an image file, we still have the old one removable, but it's created a new wave folder there alongside it with the song there, and then like you can do an A/B of those two folders, and you'd find there's apart from a log file, everything else would be the same. I won't bother to play it. Now just going back again, another thing I wanted to show you, so we could also, remember we made the backup of that song, so we could go in there, load CFS, and it'll look into the CFS folder, and that's it there, and we can just bring it up straight away, and again we could rip it from there, and it'll be very quick. Yeah, I'll do it just to show you. And so this is particularly applicable, say you were, the multi-CD sets or backup that you made with it'll be able to rip all those and get the songs, and that may be your only use, your only purpose in getting AWMiner, just to get back to your old song backups. But anyway, it does it perfectly well. That's done there, and notice the path there is going to be different again because it wasn't from the image, it's from a CFS file. It's all under wave still, so that. Shut that down. Now I'm going to do something you're going to say, oh, you must be crazy, but I'm going to load the OR again. load the CF, and I'm going to restore a different drive over it. So I've got a backup, so I'm happy. I'm comfortable the backup's going to work. I could. It's going to warn. Yeah. Now I've got my. I'm not going to bring the same one back, but I've got on my network drive. I've got. If I can connect to it. Yep. I've got. There's a lot of backups here, and now I've got one here which is 8 gig format. Now this is a 16 gig CF, but I'm going to restore that anyway. And basically, this has got only one song, and it's like basically being formatted on the OR. There's really nothing else left on it. And I'm going to open that, and what'll happen is, yep, it's going to go ahead, and this will be very quick, finished in 2 seconds. And so we've only got this one song, but if you look back to the log, it'll tell you that before there that the volume is expanded. So basically, it's still a 16 gig, even though we restored an 8 gig image. It's gone back to a 16 gig, so the image now is 16 gig in size, and it's got 15. Actually, those numbers are a little bit low. I think they're a bit higher than that. And what I'm going to do is then I'm going to restore. Go back to this is the. Just go load all again, and I'm going to restore that song that I created a little while ago. So CFS, that invitation, going to restore that, and yep, it takes a little while because it's it's probably a best part of a gigabyte. And again, remember we're writing here back to the CFS card, the OR media, and like the just by the nature of being a 20-year-old device, that compatible media is slower than modern hard drives and whatever. So I'm just going to bring that back in and prove to you that it's not corrupted and it all works fine. And after that, I'm just going to do one more thing with it, and that's to import a steel track, which I had. I sent a Q track of this mix away to a friend, and he created a pedal steel track, and I'm going to bring that in as an extra track in the mix, and then put it back on the OR and film it. Now you can see that the tutorial will be pretty well done. Notice that when I selected the CFS file, it brought up this window, and I actually had to click it again to begin the restore. So yeah, so now I've got the new song, only have one track, but then we've got this. And now I'm going to import the steel track I mentioned before. So into invitation, we've got we're going to go import wave, and this is on my shared drive. Just showing you that there. I've got a folder called import, and I think take 3 is the one that I like. So open, you get a destination selector, and we'll put it on. 16. You can put it on. Use the virtual tracks if you want. Probably a good idea actually. If you're replacing an existing track, you've taken off vocal and then run it through your DAW and done some editing, got rid of the pops, made it sound really schmicko, and done your melodine mixing or whatever, and you can bring it back. And if you bring it back onto a higher numbered virtual track, then the auto mix will still work fine against when you select that on your OR as your focused virtual track. Then the mixing will still work fine anyway. And now, very important, give it a name. I'm going to just call it I'll call it Graham Steel. Okay, just click OK. And that's done. Now we can see the tracks there. Now I won't rip it, but you could if you wanted. If you weren't sure whether it worked. Just notice that while it was when it did this importation, it did a lot of checks. Like it checked that it was a the right format of WAV file, check all the kind of things that the AW itself would do. The bit depth was right, sample rate was right. It was mono, and at the moment only support mono. There's no stereo wave input, and just some other information there. So that's all good. Okay, so imported Chrome Steel Track, and while we're here, we might as well rename the song with Steel. Okay. Now, before I do put the card or drive back into the AW, I'm going to just show you multi-CD ripping. So option 3 is to open CFS. This is from a 3 CD set. Now, you need to drag the CF files from the CDs. Don't try and rip direct from your CD device, otherwise you'll get all sorts of mess of swapping CDs in and out. Click on volume 0 like that. You'll get a song list for that. We'll go to this is song 2, and just hit rip the tracks like that. Now this is going over the Wi-Fi network, so it's slowed down a little bit. It probably would be a lot faster if you're going from your local hard drive or local SSD or something like that. But we'll just make sure that it shows it works. And okay, it did. Yep, there it is. Song 2. Shut that down. Now option 1 to go back to the attached the CF card, and just going to show that can be imported for multi-CD as well. So I'll go in there. Yep, open that one. We can double click or click and go open, and you'll get the song list of that. But we're in, so just then click the song that you want to import, and then it'll start importing straight away. I'm just going to pause the recording. Unpaused, and we got okay, and we go in there. We can see it's there. All right. So now I'm going to put the card back or drive back into AW, and we'll check the results. Okay, I've loaded the CF card back into my OR, and as you can see, the song list matches what we did with it on the MacBook. So I'm going to load Invitation, which has the steel track imported to it. I've got a jumping fader which tells you what that noise you're hearing there is. So I've just recorded, and I'm going to play, and just coming out a bit so you can see what's going on. Okay, there's a song, and now I'm going to just add the steel track with track 16. As you can see, that's a pretty quick process, and we managed to basically provide that interface between the AW4416 and the real world by using a MacBook. We could have used the PC as well, because as we probably know, the PC version's been working for a long time, but I'm really excited that now it's available for MacBook as well, because I know that a lot of users, musicians in particular, like the Apple technology. If you're interested in this, in all things AW4416, join the Facebook Yamaha AW4416 website created by Happy Harry. I'd like to give a big thanks to Happy Harry for allowing me to host AWMiner on the site, and I'd like to thank all the wonderful members. There's over 1,000 of them who have helped me over the years developing AWMiner, and in its first incarnation for PC, get all the bugs out of it, and now for MacBook as well. So if you're interested, get in touch with me, BennyBadman@gmail.com, and first initially just download the free version of it. You'll find that easily by searching on the web. Make sure it's going to work on your system, and then if you want to order it, just get in touch with me, bennybadman@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.